Hey you guys, welcome back for another video. If you are new to my channel, I'm Kimberly. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3. And today I want to talk about the 5 areas of my homeschool that I like to focus on the most. And maybe these will be areas that you'll want to focus on as well. That's just going to bring just nurturing to your home. Just really focus on how you want to be as a parent, not just in your homeschool, but just nurturing that home environment. And so I've been thinking about this a lot, and I came up with 5 areas that I think maybe you will want to focus on, and definitely what I want to focus on. And I'm excited to share that with you today. So let's just jump right into it. The very first area I feel that everyone should be focusing on, as well as myself, is cultivating good habits. And I know if you are not new to the homeschooling world, this is something Charlotte Mason talks about all the time, but maybe you're new to homeschooling and you're like, what do you mean by cultivating good habits? So in my home, I really want to make sure that my kids know what they are responsible for and how to take care of it. I want to make sure that each and every one of my children have age-appropriate chores, in which they do currently, and I always like to rotate that through, but I want to make sure each one of my kids has age-appropriate chores, and that I'm able to walk them through what they need to do so they can do it well. It doesn't mean that's going to be easy by any means. I tell my kids at least 100 times a day that they need to clean up after themselves. Eventually, maybe, hopefully, this will stick, and this requires a lot of patience from myself. But cultivating those really good habits, definitely with chores and maintaining our home, but also having rhythms to our day. So I'm not a big fan of a schedule, but I definitely know what I want to get done in a day. And I don't really like to assign times to those things. But I want my kids to also know, while I'm teaching these, habits, that there's a rhythm to our day. So usually we'll start like our table time at 8 o'clock typically. And then my kids always know after table time, we are going to either do our chores or we're going to walk the dog. And then after that, depending on if that got flip-flopped or not, when we're coming back from, let's say, walking the dog, we're now going to do our chores. And then we get started with our studies. And that's just bringing a peace and a calm to our days, and really cultivating a habit and an understanding of how our days are flowing in our home. So the number 2 is giving our children, and definitely my children, real life experiences. So this does not mean that you should be scheduling amazing museum trips every single week to give your children these wonderful, amazing life experiences. That is definitely not where I'm going with that. I think just living your life in your ordinary way still brings a great richness to the life experiences that we're giving our kids. So whether that's like going to the bakery, the grocery store, going to the bank, gardening together as a family, obviously having really great field trips from, now and again is always wonderful. Going to the zoo or maybe to your local playground. Those are actually really rich and beautiful experiences for your children. It's also helping them find their place in the world and how to operate in it. So definitely providing experiences for my kids. And I want my kids to be able to function in everyday society and know how to do things. So not making like these really grand field trips or humongous trips all the time, but just them learning through living our life and going to the grocery store and going to the bank and running errands and, enjoying, a muffin at the coffee shop, things like that, that is making their life richer. And that is a part of school. Learning how to do these things with us is also a very big part of their education and something that I really value in our homeschool. All right, area number 3 that I love to focus on is having short lessons. Again, this is a very Charlotte Mason method of having lessons be 10 minutes or less. I've never really written out like a homeschool philosophy. You'll hear like you have to write down your homeschool philosophy and things. Honestly, I've never done that. I mean, I know what I value and I try to go, with that, but I've never written out a homeschool philosophy. But like a slogan I've always gone by is relaxed consistency, and having 10 to 15 minute lessons has just been perfect. So my kids are soon to be 9. I have a 6-year-old and a very soon to be 5-year-old. So my kids are still on the younger end, and we've homeschooled from the very, very start. And we homeschool all year long, and we take breaks when we want to and when we need it. And so I have found by doing our subjects and things, just having 10 minutes consistently throughout the months and the weeks and the days, my kids have made tremendous progress. So definitely foregoing, let's say you're not doing on most days 10 minutes, but you're choosing maybe to do longer chunks. Let's say you missed a day, and so you're like, oh, well, we should do 20 minutes of that lesson because we missed the day before. Younger kids do not thrive in that environment, and their attention span just definitely does not last. So a good rule of thumb is whatever your child's age is, plus 1 minute is ideally what they can really, really focus hard and absorb. So 10-minute lessons for children ages 9 and below are definitely best, and there's lots of studies that support that. Also, to kind of dive deeper into that, just having short and consistent studies or short and consistent lessons, is focus on skills rather than content. So teaching the 3 R's, math, writing, and arithmetic. Once you have supplied your children or child with the skills, they can then dive deep into content. So if you have really young kids and you want to teach them lots of content, whether that is history or geography or things like that they may not be interested in, they just kind of dump it out. But if you're in those younger years, if you're really focusing on the skills, making sure they can actually do the math, making sure that they can actually read and do the writing, they are going to be able to dive into content that you're presenting them, as well as content that they are interested in, and they're actually going to care, they're going to absorb it, and they're going to take it in. So especially in those younger years, 9 and under, definitely focus on the skills, because the content can come at any time when they're older and they're actually going to absorb it. So that is my suggestion. The 4th area to focus on in your homeschool, and what I definitely am focusing on in my school, is reading aloud. I've kind of shifted a tad of how we're learning this year into literary based learning. So me reading aloud. So read aloud a lot. And this is also where you can build your child's vernacular, their vocabulary, and you are going to present them with content through reading aloud. So having reading aloud do the heavy lifting for you. So you can group a bunch more children together and read to them about any given subject, rather than kind of piecemealing out a lot of the subject areas like you would in school. But reading aloud, huge area, I feel that should be focused on in homeschooling and definitely in ours, and it's doing the heavy lifting for us. All right, and the fifth and the last area to focus on in your homeschool and definitely in my homeschool is adding beauty. Now, you can totally overcomplicate this. Do not overcomplicate this. It really can be very simple. So when I say add beauty, beauty can be maybe a family garden, like gardening together, or having a weekly poetry tea time. And if your kids don't like tea, like my kids, make it lemonade and cookies and crackers or whatever. Or you can actually do the tea, whatever works for you guys. Another thing that can bring beauty is just putting on beautiful music in your home, whether it's classical music or maybe worship music, or maybe some really moody jazz would be really fun at certain parts of the day, or doing some art together. And I'm not saying like crazy masterpiece, but maybe like just a simple art project while you're listening to an audio book, just bringing in a little bit of beauty into your homeschool. You can do art appreciation. You can just go for beautiful walks out in nature, and draw a picture of something that you saw. It doesn't have to be complicated. What I'm doing in my homeschool this year is I actually scheduled like something different on each day of the week. So I don't have my schedule in front of me. I'm going to be implementing it in August, and this video is being filmed in July. So I'm just going to throw out something in general. So like on Monday, I'm doing an art appreciation where I'm going to pull up a YouTube video of a famous artist and their works, and we're going to watch it together, maybe over tea, like setting the table really pretty and calling it art tea time. And then on Tuesday, it's going to be a poetry tea time. On Wednesday, we do a group history lesson together with my sister-in-law and nieces and another friend of mine. So that's just beautiful togetherness that we use Beautiful Feet books. So that's another form of beauty through friendship that we're doing on Wednesdays. On Thursday, we may do, I have an art curriculum that I've had for years and I've never used it of Squilt music. So we're going to be doing a music appreciation lesson on Thursdays. Hopefully this will work out, but I definitely have a plan to incorporate a lot more beauty into our weeks. All right, you guys, so those are the 5 homeschool areas that I'm focusing on that I hope you will focus on, and it will bring wonderful joy to your homeschool, especially because we'll be starting up very soon, most of you here, usually in September. So those 5 things, one more time: cultivating good habits, offering life experiences, rich life experiences, keep it simple there, and be consistent with short lessons, and then read aloud, let reading aloud do the heavy lifting for you, and lastly, add beauty into your homeschool. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend that you think this could be really helpful, but also I hope you found value here. So you have a wonderful day, and we will talk very soon. Bye-bye.